Yes, you're watching ESPN Cricinfo Match Day T20. 27 runs off that final over at the Chinnaswamy, which has meant that now the Sunrisers Hyderabad have posted 175 runs on the board at a time when it looked like they would not even touch 160. Kane Williamson coming good with the bat, 17 not out. Martin Guptill giving them a good start in the power play, 30 for them. Washington Sundar and Navdeep Saini, two young Indian bowlers, really the pick of the bowlers for Royal Challengers Bangalore. But first up, we'll start with the most experienced one, that being Umesh Yadav. And in conversation with Daniel Vittori and Ajit Agarkar, you were privy to Dan watching that final over. What were the reactions like?
I think he's been there as recently as last year. I think he said it off air. He's been saying, I think Umesh has struggled to bowl that last over, such a critical over after sort of having control of the game for 19 overs, and it can happen. It's a tough over to bowl. And the no ball again. What a huge mistake by the umpire. That who knows, that last ball boundary might be the difference between the game.
When such a situation happens and you're sitting in the dugout, which you have been in the previous seasons, what are you doing at that time?
I normally run upstairs and go and see what happens. The thing for me is that I feel sorry for Umesh because he's such a good bowler, and he's such a good bowler in the power play and early on, and it's always a tough ask to come in that last over when you haven't bowled for a while against Williamson, who was in good form, and we knew he was going to be aggressive in that last over. Everyone is. So a really difficult ask, and probably not one of Umesh's strengths, but it takes away from how good he is in other areas. So Sunrisers will walk off reasonably happy, but probably still not a score that RCB would be too worried about. I think it's a score that they can chase down on this wicket.
Still respectable. I mean, game will still go down to the wire now.
Yeah, they've got something to bowl at, more than something to bowl at. I mean, 150, 160, then you've got to have your best day as a bowling unit. 175, you still have those 15, 20 extra runs. Perhaps not enough runs for this ground and this pitch, but you can get some early wickets, and suddenly you find yourself in a good, because they've got the bowling. If they bowl well enough, they've got the bowling to defend that.
We trigger happy journalists. Now the Kane Williamson's knock has come like that. You know what they're going to say? Kane Williamson is back with a bang.
Or he should have batted higher. Those are the two things, I think, which he probably should have. I mean, Kane's such a good player, and he's done it so many times, and he's done it at this ground last year. So once again, he's obviously looking towards the team. They actually got a good start. So Guptill and Saha did a great job, and they handed it off to Williamson, who built an innings because there were wickets falling all around him. Sundar came in and picked up wickets, but Williamson hung in there, and then he got the payoff for that last over.
It's been a topsy-turvy kind of game. Sunrisers started well, RCB came back, then Sunrisers sort of made lost ground, then RCB came back, and then came Umesh Yadav, of course, handing the advantage back to the Sunrisers Hyderabad. First 6 overs, 52 runs, loss of just 1 wicket, but then it's that middle phase which is always troubling Hyderabad, right, Ajit? 7 to 15, 70 runs, and they've lost 3 wickets as well.
Yeah, I mean, losing the wickets, I think Guptill really soft. Manish Pandey, who's probably looked their best batsman in the last few games, again got out to a good catch, short ball. So nothing in the bowling, good steady stuff, but nothing spectacular. You lose wickets, you suddenly lose momentum. I don't think Yusuf Pathan's done enough for them. Nabi missed out today, Rashid Khan missed out. So suddenly you don't have enough in that middle order. And maybe that's why Kane Williamson didn't want to open the innings, because if he does get out with the new ball, then suddenly it makes everything even worse than it is. Fortunately for them, he was there at the end and could get there, has got them to 175, which without him looking at that middle order now would be unthinkable.
I know Nabi did not do much with the bat in this game. He was in good nick. Were you surprised they sent Yusuf Pathan before him, who's not had a good IPL so far?
I think they saw maybe a matchup that spin might have to bowl, whether it's Washington Sundar for one over or Chahal, who ended up getting him out. But I think that would probably been the thinking. Let's get Yusuf in against spin bowling, where he's been at his strongest and it's his biggest strength. So I'm sure that was the thinking. It just didn't come off today.
But I mean, but you've got to play. If you're playing Yusuf Pathan, he's got to bat ahead of Nabi. I mean, you're surely not playing him as a fielder. And he's known for his power. Yeah, but I mean, his strength is the big shots. And like Dan said, there was spin on offer at that point. Unfortunately, he hasn't had a great season. Nayak
Anil is asking a question: why was Washington Sundar deprived of a 4th over?
It sounds so bad, deprived of it. Look, I think because he came into his bowling spell late, I think they were worried about that back end. We all know Chinnaswamy's small and off spinners It's not easy bowling the back end, but I thought what he did so well was after getting hit for those 2 sixes by Vijay Shankar, he went round the wicket, and I think everyone predicted him just to fire in a Yorker, and he was incredibly brave, bowled almost a top spinner, floated it up and got the wicket. So it proved that he can bowl even in those pressure situations, even at the back end. So you look back on Umesh's over going for so many and you think, well, why didn't Washington bowl? And that's the question marks they'll have for themselves.
From one young Indian bowler to another, Navdeep Saini had another good game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the opener started really well against them, went for a few, but that's been his strength, came back, bowled a good over against Williamson. I think just watches the batsman a lot better than Umesh. I think Umesh, that's the one criticism if you had to have about the last over, which is a difficult place, is you need to be clear of what you need to bowl. I think he bowled a foolish ball, which went for 6 over mid-off, and then suddenly had to change, then try to go Yorker with still the mid-off up.
Saini had good fields as well. I thought.
Exactly. I mean, really even that last ball when Williamson came into him, bowl a wideish Yorker. Execution is obviously better because the confidence is there, the form's better at the moment, but good signs. Good signs for the future.
I know you guys feel why put someone in a situation which is not tailor-made for you, but to play devil's advocate, he is your most experienced bowler in that lineup. He is your...
but the experience tells you that it's not the right thing to do. I think that's what the counter to it is, that if you bowl Umesh in those first 10 to 12 overs, he's phenomenal. His record, wicket-taking, economy is everything you could want, but he's proven that death bowling eludes him a little bit. So, in my opinion, don't try it. So you put the other guys there. Saini proved they could do it. I think Kuon is a guy that can step up into those roles. I think it's something he enjoys doing, either going round the wicket and bowling Yorkers. So I think they do have some options there to try and perform that role.
Shimron Hetmyer has done something in this IPL. I mean, other than the dancing, he took a catch. Did you think that was a fair decision?
Yeah. I mean, clean catch. For some reason, they took forever to make the decision, which happens quite often. I mean, there was one in the last over which was being checked for whether it was boundary or 6, which went well over the fence. So, I might give him a bit of confidence before he goes out to bat. At least a little bit of contribution on the field.
This one's for you. Dan Crispin Gerard is asking, did Vijay Shankar get carried away? Because up until then, trigger-happy journalists are getting going. Here's India's number 4.
He was in. 2 sixes. He'd done his job. He was the number 4. I don't think so. I think credit to Washington Sundar. I think Vijay Shankar is sitting there thinking Sundar's going to be defensive and fire it in, and he looked like he was going to just try and hit it from his crease. And then when he tossed it up, his eyes lit up and he went for it. And I have no problem with either. I think that Vijay Shankar felt good about it. The off spinner at Chinnaswamy, small boundary, just hit 2 sixes, why not go again? And then countered by the brilliant bowling by Washington Sundar.
It really is a tough one now because, on the line is a playoff spot for Sunrisers Hyderabad. They made the most of what they had. Just hoping you can stop Virat Kohli and ABD.
Yeah, I mean, Parthiv Patel, actually, don't forget him. I mean, he's had a great season. I mean, the starts that he's given have... not enough runs for the venue. But if you had to pick one of the bowling attacks who had half a chance, one of the ones would be Sunrisers. Mumbai obviously is another one for these conditions, who have the bowling or the variety in their bowling. I think these guys do. So if they can pick up some early wickets, they'll always have a chance.
You know this ground really well, Dan. How would you use someone like Rashid Khan in his 4 overs?
Well, I think that we saw that it spun a little bit. I think Chahal got it to spin, and even Washington got it to spin a little bit. I think that crucial matchup against De Villiers and Kohli, and in particular De Villiers, I think once he's settled, then he can take any bowler on. So I think as soon as De Villiers gets to the crease, we'll probably see Rashid Khan come on, look to attack him.
Nabi's troubled them as well.
I think that spin combination, and I think Nabi will be there for Parthiv and Hetmyer in terms of the left-handers, and they'll try and match that up. So look for those 2 bowlers to be used relatively early on, and they may be finished their spells by the 12th, 13th over, looking to take wickets.
Finally, guys, prediction time: 176 to chase. Virat Kohli, ABD, walking out.
Tough one. Not enough runs, like I said. I'm going to go for Hyderabad tonight.
Oh, okay. So
to defend that total.
They're entering the playoffs then.
Well, I hope so. They're a good team. They deserve to get there if they do.
Finals taking place in Hyderabad, if that counts for anything.
Yeah, I think I echo what Ajit said. I think normally you'd say it's not enough runs, but that Sunrisers bowling lineup just evens it out a little bit, so it's going to be a close game.
Right, Dan Mattori, Ajit Agarkar, thank you so much for your time. This, of course, was the mid-innings show as we are Looking ahead now at the game at the Chinnaswamy, it's 176 needed for the Royal Challengers Bangalore.